Hi guys, so Rishi Sunak of course has a new Foreign Secretary. The old one, James Cleverly, is now at the Home Office trying to present a more human face and also attempting to moderate the language coming out of that department. His replacement in the Foreign Office is ex-Prime Minister David Cameron, Lord Cameron to be exact. The reason Cameron is a Lord is for the same reason David Frost was made a Lord, to fast-track them into government and avoid having a by-election. It does mean that the Foreign Secretary will not be held to account by MPs, but instead by peers in the House of Lords, which isn't going down well with Labour. Here, Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy roasted the Tories over this.
I would have liked to have started by welcoming the new Foreign Secretary to his place, but I can't do that because he isn't here. Despite my respect for the Right Honourable gentleman opposite, he is not the Foreign Secretary. And we don't know when or how this House will hear from the Foreign Secretary because he's not a member.
Mr. Seeley, are you going to be quiet? Right, in which case I expect it. Do correct.
Mr. Speaker, David Cameron is the 7th Foreign Secretary in the 7 years of Tory chaos. He was forced to resign in failure over a matter of foreign policy. The Prime Minister has looked at each of the 350 MPs sitting opposite and decided that none of them was better at representing Britain's interests on the world stage. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, claimed he was for change. Instead, he's just resurrected yesterday's failure with an honour. This decision raises serious questions for this House, but I know that you share those concerns, Mr. Speaker, at a time of grave international crisis, at a moment of war in Europe, with a more assertive China, a climate emergency and a horrifying conflict in Gaza, this House needs government accountability more than ever.
And he's correct. It does need government accountability more than ever, but the opposition parties can't hold David Cameron to account because David Cameron will not be there, as David Lammy has pointed out. In the same way that David Frost, Lord Frost, who was the Brexit minister, couldn't be held to account in the House of Commons because he was not in the House of Commons, he was in the House of Lords. And the way the way ministers, I should say, are held to account in the House of Lords is very different to the House of Commons. Now, what's interesting is they'll refer to him as David Cameron, they'll refer to him as Lord Cameron. They won't refer to him as the Right Honourable gentleman from whatever seat because he isn't an MP. Now, why isn't he an MP? Why did Rishi Sunak send him to the House of Lords? Now, it could be because of time. You'd need to have a by-election. But it's also possible that, well, it'd be a bit embarrassing if they decided, well, run David Cameron as an MP, as a candidate to be an MP, and he failed. That would be quite embarrassing for Rishi Sunak and for David Cameron. But it also would require somebody else standing down, I believe. I'm not all that familiar with the ins and outs of Parliament, but I would imagine it would require somebody, a Conservative, standing aside, having a by-election, and then David Cameron winning the seat. Then he would become an MP, and then he would become the Minister, the Secretary of State that way. But that would take a long time, and there's huge risk involved, so it's much easier, just like David Frost, send him to the House of Lords, and then he becomes a cabinet minister or a Secretary of State. Once again, you can't hold these people to account. So instead, they send the minister, the foreign minister there, to speak on his behalf. But it's not the same thing because it's the Secretary of State who's at the top. They're the ones who make the ultimate decisions, not the minister. So it is a bit pointless. But then this is Rishi Sunak's government. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.